Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to do our ELA reading informational standard based on a couple of books. So today's goal and objective is to compare two different books. So today we have here our informational book, which we know is nonfiction. Everyone say nonfiction. Informational book. Ready? Nonfiction, informational book. Good. And then here, today we're going to read a new book. It's called The Greedy Python. Now, some of you guys already read this with me last year. That's okay. We're going to do it again. This time we're comparing it with informational text versus fiction versus nonfiction. So everyone say fiction, nonfiction, fiction, nonfiction. When we think of nonfiction, we think of real pictures, real book. This has real information. Everyone say real information. Good. Now, fiction, where we see illustrations, just like this one, it is called fiction because it is not real. Can the python really be greedy? Well, probably, because greedy means he likes to have everything for himself, right? But wait a minute. Do you really think that this story is going to be real? Probably not, right? Well, let's find out because we're going to read it today, okay? But before we do, we're going to remember nonfiction, fiction, okay? Nonfiction, informational text or informational book, okay? Fiction, good, not real, good, okay, like a make-believe, right? All right, so based on these two books, we're going to think about some questions that we might have about it, and we're going to try to compare. So we're going to think, put our thinking hats on. Everyone grab your hat, okay, put it on your head, think. All right, we're going to put our thinking hat on. We're going to think. Okay, we're going to think about a couple things. First thing I want you to really think about is what kind of animals they are, okay? What kind of animals are snakes? Does anyone know? Raise your hand if you know so I can call on you. Good. Someone said reptiles. Yes, snakes are reptiles. Reptiles, such as snakes, also have, we have like other animals such as an alligator, a turtle, and a lizard. They're all reptiles. What do you think snakes and alligators, turtles, and reptiles have in common? Okay, someone said they're all green. Okay, what else? Good, they are all reptiles. Are they mammals? No. And what makes reptiles and mammals different? Someone said, what's a mammal? Okay, what's a mammal, guys? How about a whale? Is a whale a mammal? Good. What makes them different though, Miss D? Well, the biggest difference is right over here. Reptiles like snakes and alligators and turtles and lizards, they make eggs. Good. They have eggs. That's how they have birth to new babies, right? They have eggs. Now, mammals don't have eggs, okay? Also, reptiles love the heat. Good. That's why one of our vocabulary words, which is right over here, our vocabulary words state that snakes like to hibernate. Correct. They like to sleep during the winter, okay? Because in the winter it is what? Correct. It's really cold. Do the snakes like the cold? No, they don't. They like the heat and the hot, and they like to feel hot. That's how they are happy. They're happy when they're hot. When they're cold, they like to crawl in their little caves or in their little holes, and they like to sleep all winter. What other animals do you know that like to sleep in the winter? They all sleep in the winter when it's cold. Who does this? Good, bears. Bears love to sleep in the winter, and they come out in the spring and they stretch, and they're stretching and they're looking for fish and food right now. Okay, so snakes definitely like to sleep when it's not hot. I mean, in the winter. Okay, all right, guys. So what we're gonna do today is make a couple of observations between both books, because today we are going to need our worksheet. Some of you might have already done it, even though you guys are ahead of the game. We're going to still talk about it because we need to do this today. So our worksheet today is illustrated predator to a snake and something that could be a prey for a snake. So we're going to review both books and think about what could be a predator and what is prey for the snake. Now, remember, these are two different things. So we're going to find out in this new book how we can answer this question. So I want you guys to have this page ready. And it says, it's the one that says illustrate a predator and prey. Okay, so have this sheet ready. It looks just like this. Okay, it has a little snake on the top. Okay, all right, and once you guys are ready, here we go. All right, The Greedy Python, written by Richard Buckley, and it is illustrated by R.I.K. Okay, R.I.K. R.I.K., yes, same one that drew the picture, Papa Get Me the Moon and The Hungry Caterpillar. Okay, same illustrator. So the author writes the book, the author writes the book, the illustrator draws the pictures that complete the book. Good. All right, here we go, guys. Let's get started. Half hidden in the jungle green, the biggest snake that had ever been, looped back and forth and in between. Put the screen bigger so you guys can see me. There we go. The giant snake was very strong and very, very, very long. He had a big, huge appetite, and his belly stretched from left to right. He's very big. He quickly gobbled in one bite all the animals that came to sight. A mouse that hurried to and from, a frog that jumped up from below, a bat that hung from left toe, a fish that swam a bit too slow, a bird that flew a bit too low. That's a lot of animals. A porcupine still half asleep, a monkey who was in mid-leap. A leopard sitting in a tree, a buffalo who came to see. An elephant complete with trunk was swallowed in a single chunk. I am too big for you, he cried. No, you're not, the snake replied. At last the python's meal was done, and he lay resting in the sun. The animals inside of him began to jump and fly and swim. Wow, look at his big old belly right now. And when they all began to kick, the snake began to feel quite sick. He coughed the whole lot up again, each one of them, and there were 10. He threw them all up. He soon felt better. What is more, he was hungrier than before. He had not learned one single thing. His greed was quite astonishing. Oh, do you think he's going to eat all the animals again? He saw his own tail, long and curved, and thought that lunch was being served. He closed his jaws on his own rear, then swallowed hard. Uh-oh. What is he doing? That silly snake. And disappeared. Uh-oh. I think he ate himself. What a silly, silly snake. Oh my goodness. The greedy python. Why was he so greedy? Good. He ate everything in sight. He left no animal. He was just greedy, greedy, greedy. He had to have every animal for himself, right? So here we learn about the greedy python, who was eating all kinds of animals. He was eating an elephant, a buffalo, a leopard. Whoa! But are those animals a little too big to be prey? I think so too. Now let's review the word prey. Okay, because we got to think about, what was he eating in this book? Yeah, he was eating elephants. What else did he eat? Buffalo, leopards, a monkey, a porcupine. Wouldn't that poke you? He was eating a bird, a fish, and an owl. a bat. Good. But could he really eat these, you think, in real life? Could this be prey for a snake because they're little? Yeah. In real life, this could be prey because they're kind of small, right? Just like in our vocabulary word, we learned that there are some animals that can be prey. So when we saw this word earlier this week, it said prey, right? Animals that are eaten by other animals. So in this picture, we're seeing the snake eat what? Good. We're seeing the snake eat a mouse, right? Everyone goes squeak like a mouse. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Right? I'm getting eaten by a snake. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Okay? So yes, the snake, the mouse is prey to a snake. Good. So animals that are eaten by other animals. So the mouse is eaten by another animal, right? Like a snake. Good. So in real life, can this happen? Can the greedy python eat the the mouse and the frog? Yes. In real life, these two are two kinds of prey. So what about in real life? Could the python eat the elephant? Probably not. That would be silly. But that's why this book is also considered fiction, because not everything we read in here is going to be real. It's not always real, but it's still really funny, right? So when we think about the word prey, we're going to think of a couple different animals. Some of the animals that we found in the story were what? Mouse. Good. Everyone say squeak, squeak. What about a frog? Frog. Everyone's going to go ribbit, ribbit. Good. What else did we see? What other animals do you remember seeing? Yes, we saw a bat. Good. How about a bird? Right? Yes. So are those all good examples of what prey could be for a snake? Yes. So in one of these boxes, what you guys are in charge of doing is drawing one type of animal that can be prey. So here I'm probably going to do like a little mouse. I'm going to do a little tiny little mouse with a big tail and little feet and little hands. Okay, there goes my mouse. Okay, and then Kinder, make sure that you label, like we always have done in class, the word pray, because that is a word, and circle it right there. It is one of your vocabulary words for the week, and we learned that prey is something that is eaten by another animal. And in this instance, we know that a mouse, everyone say squeak, 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 squeak. We know that the mouse is eaten by a snake. So the mouse is prey. Okay? Now, the next question was for the next box is illustrate a predator. A predator. So I'm going to circle the word predator because that's my next word. I'm going to write it right here. Where do you find the word predator? Right up there. Okay, so circle it. You have 2 vocabulary words. If you guys don't remember your vocabulary words, you should be reviewing them daily with the video for YouTube for vocabulary. Okay, vocabulary for the week of 3/25. I believe that's the date that it was on. So go ahead and review your vocabulary for the book Snakes. Okay, all right, so what are some of the predators that we think could potentially eat a snake, right? So let's take a look at our vocabulary word. And I think on here it already shows us a picture of something that could be a predator. You guys remember this one? Good. An eagle, right? We see an eagle here. Everyone say predators together. Predators. How many syllables? How many sounds? Because it's a big word. So we always like to break it down. Ready? Here we go. Predator. Predator. How many? 3. Can I do claps too? Ready? Predators. Good. It's a big word. So if you need to sound it out, I suggest you can either do our syllable count, okay, or you can always do claps like we do in class. All right. So when we think of the word predators, it starts with the letter P. Good. Predators. Animals that eat other animals. Ooh. So can an eagle be a predator? Sure. How about in the book, at the very, very end, we see these 2 big animals. Do you think these could be predators? Perhaps, right? Now, are these prey? Probably not. They're too big, right? So, if you really, really think about it, those are too big, so they'll probably eat the snake before the snake eats them. So here we have a predator, an animal that eats other animals, okay? The predator eats the snake, okay? So the predators are the animals that are looking to eat the snakes for lunch, okay? So I'm going to draw myself a predator here, okay? I'm going to draw myself a predator. So I'm going to draw an eagle. I'm going to draw his beak. And then I'm going to draw his wings. I'm going to draw his other wing. I'm going to close his beak. I'm going to give him a cute little eye and little claw feet. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to color it. And then how am I going to send this to my teacher when I'm done? Good. I'm going to take a picture and send it to Seesaw. Seesaw. Everyone, picture, send it to Seesaw. All right, thank you, boys and girls. I hope you loved the Greedy Python as much as I did. I'll see you soon.